Hello, welcome back to DriveDriverDriven. I'm Humble, and we're back on the Zero project again today. Bit of a rainy day today. I wanted to get something done really quick before I'm out into the world yet again, and I actually have a couple of updates. First quick update on the Zero is I finally got my virtual ref inspection completed. For those of you not in California or unfamiliar with the process, what that is when you assemble a kit car or you're dealing with a salvage title car, you have to go through a referee inspection in the state of California to make sure that the car is roadworthy or up to legal specs. Now the process has changed in the COVID timeline. It used to be that you would gather up all your paperwork, take it down to their inspection center, and they would pour through everything. And at that point, they would send copies of your documentation up to Sacramento for a final approval, and you would await your approval from there. All in all, the process would take 3 to 4 weeks or maybe longer just to get your in-person interview, and then 2 to 4 weeks for the answer to come back once all of your paperwork, documentation, everything went up to Sacramento. So it could be 2 to 2.5 months before you heard anything back. And it could be, you know, yay, everything's good, or it could be, hey, we noticed this thing, or your cats are in the wrong position, or you don't have a closed loop PCV system, things like that, or maybe there was a problem with your documentation or what have you. It can be turned down for any number of reasons, but you start the process all over again if that happens. Fast forward to today, and the way it works now is they couldn't do in-person interviews during COVID for obvious reasons. And so now you have to submit all your documentation virtually via scanned PDFs, pictures, etc. They'll do a virtual interview over the phone, take a look at your documentation, and then forward you on from there. This process has actually sorted out a lot of the riffraffs, people who either didn't have their documentation together, they had incomplete documentation, or they're trying to pull a fast one through one way or another, and it significantly speeds up the process for those of us who are ready to go. So I had all the paperwork for the Zero ready. Everything was set. I submitted all the documentation, and literally within hours I got my approval down from Sacramento, and I'm on to the next part of the process, which is to go and get my sticker, my smog sticker, or smog exemption sticker, applied to the chassis. So that'll happen once I get back, but once you have that sticker, you go to the DMV one last time, and your car is registered. You have a full registration, a plate, you've paid your taxes, you have a car as judged by the state of California. So congratulations, you're through the worst of it. The last bit of that process is going to be happening not next week, the week after next, after I get back. And for now, I wanted to kind of get something done real quick on the car that I hadn't installed yet. The Zero itself has been doing good. Drove it back and forth to work now. Again, doing my loops in the mountains. Still sorting out the speedometer of all things, which is reading a bit quick. The speedo itself is digital, and it has a pickup on the drive shaft. And you have to do a little bit of math to enter the correct number of ticks per mile, and it seems like I'm coming up short, and when I adjusted it the wrong direction. So now I gotta wind it back, and hopefully that'll sort it out. Ditto for the shocks. I haven't adjusted the shocks yet, but I need to soften them up by a couple clicks. But here is the main event for today. So this is our rear diffuser that I have not installed on the car. How you install this thing if we get down under the car, is we have these little C channel pieces. And you can see my little marks up on the seat pan, but it hangs like this. And then the leading edge of our diffuser sits inside of that channel, and it'll be secured to the channel here with a couple of riv nuts. And then likewise, if we look in the back here, we have a couple of holes for some riv nuts that will go into the side of the panel here, and then it'll be fully supported. And that really helps clean up this mess and this view of the back of the car, and in my opinion makes it look a lot better. Alright, standing back, you can get sort of a feel of that overall look. As I said, I think it really cleans up the back of the car. It definitely looks more finished to my eye. If we look around to the side here, you can see where those holes go into the side of the diffuser. There's another set on the passenger side of the car. And then looking up underneath, you can see how it comes up inside this lip. The C channel itself will need to be bent up so it's a little bit smoother on the bottom. Some people mount this lip on the underside of this. I like mounting it on the top side as just a way to catch a failure, like if the bolts fall out or something like that, the lip itself won't get caught on anything. And if the bolts do fall out, the lip is still supporting it, the front edge. You can't just drop down and tear everything else out. So I just like erring on that side of caution. You saw me put the Clecos in to hold this channel in place. Those are currently still in there. What I'm going to do next is get those pulley C channels back out, and we're going to put some holes in the middle of each of these. I'm going to mark them, and we'll drill those holes out and then transfer the holes up into the diffuser, so that on the diffuser itself we'll put some riv nuts, and then the bolts will go through the support into the riv nut in the diffuser. And then while I'm at it, I'll put the riv nuts over here on this side, drill those out, put the riv nuts in, and then this whole thing will be ready to bolt in for the final time. right, there's a quick look at the finished product with the car on the ground. I think you'll agree it does make quite a bit a difference of just how finished it looks. One thing I've noticed is it does kind of sag a little bit here in the middle, so I may end up building a bracket that goes up and under here just to secure this up a little bit, but it doesn't move too much and I'm not really worried about it rattling. But other than that, I really do think that's a marked improvement on the back end of the car. So kind of a quick and easy job, just getting the rear diffuser mounted up and underneath the back of the car. I'm really curious to see if it makes a difference on mileage. I've heard that you can pick up a couple miles to the gallon on the 7 specifically, just because of how dirty these cars are aerodynamically speaking. They're as bad as, or if not worse than, a motorcycle in that regard. So we'll see if it picks up any fuel economy numbers with the next couple of drives. That being said, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Again, just a quick and easy job. Get that knocked out before I'm on the road again. I'll be on the road basically this coming week, and then the following weekend I have an autocross event, and while I'd like to take the Zero out, it's really going to depend on weather. If the weather's fair, we'll take the Zero. If the weather's not so good, we'll take the Porsche instead. It's been a bit since I've really gave that a good drive and a good flogging, so either way I won't be disappointed. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.